Autumn, 1944. The Ardennes forest is a sea of mud and misery. The wind bites, carrying a chill that has nothing to do with winter and everything to do with defeat. This is where we find Oberst Hans von Luck. Remember him? The confident panzer commander who laughed at Allied tanks, calling them Ronsons because they lit up so easily. Now, he's just a ghost leading what's left of his once mighty 21st Panzer Division through the muck of Belgium. His men are ragged, his tanks are few, and the arrogance he once wore like a medal is long gone. It's December. Hitler is throwing his last dice. The Battle of the Bulge. It's a desperate, furious lunge at the American lines. A final, convulsive attempt to punch through to Antwerp and split the Allied armies. Panthers and tigers, the pride of the Wehrmacht, claw and tear at the front. But von Luck feels a deep, cold certainty in his bones. It's over. The war is lost. The reason? The firefly, its sting, has spread. Its lessons have been learned. The once dismissed Sherman, the supposed fire trap, is now a plague upon the panzers. By the end of the war, there are over 2,100 fireflies in service. They're no longer just a British oddity. They're integrated into every Allied armoured doctrine. The US 3rd Armoured Division has them, thanks to Lend-Lease, and the deadly secret of the 17-pounder gun is out. Von Luck as scouts keep coming back with the same terrifying reports, long-barreled Shermans hiding in ambush, shredding even the mighty King Tigers. The King Tiger's 120 millimeters of frontal armor, once thought to be impenetrable, is being punched clean through by the Firefly's furious projectiles. You can almost feel the despair seeping into the German ranks. The Panzer Arm, the iron fist that smashed through Poland and France, is fraying. It's coming apart under the relentless, overwhelming pressure. In the rubble of Aachen, the very first German city to fall to the Allies, von Luck finds himself interrogating captured American GI. He learns just how much the Firefly has evolved. It has better optics now, stabilized guns for firing on the move. He even hears about Polish exile units, men who had lost everything. Wielding these tanks with a cold, vengeful precision that is terrifying to behold. The tables have turned completely. The German arrogance has been burned to ashes on the battlefields of France and Belgium. In its place is a frantic, desperate scramble to adapt. You start seeing panzers with Scherzen, those thin metal side skirts, and covered in a strange paste called Zimmet. These were attempts to defeat magnetic mines and hollow charge rounds. But they were utterly useless against the high-velocity, armor-piercing sabot rounds fired by the Firefly. They were gestures of desperation, not effective countermeasures. Remember Fritz Bayerlein's elite Panzerlehr division, the one that got mauled during Operation Cobra. They're now limping back east, a shadow of their former selves. Their reports to the German High Command, the OKW, paint a grim, unavoidable picture. Allied tanks outnumber them 10 to 1. For every panzer lost, the Allies seem to produce 20 more. The factories in Detroit and Liverpool are churning out steel hordes, an unstoppable tide of metal, while Germany's own industrial heartland crumbles under a constant rain of Allied bombs. Von Luck himself barely escapes the slaughterhouse of the Falaise pocket, saved by sheer dumb luck. He begins writing frantic dispatches to Field Marshal Model, the man who replaced Rommel. In these messages, the desperation is palpable. He warns him, "Our qualitative superiority is an illusion. Their innovations will doom us." He sees the writing on the wall. The German belief in their superior technology was a fantasy, shattered by the simple, effective ingenuity of a British gun mounted in an American tank. March 1945, the Rhine, the last major natural barrier defending the German heartland. Its crossing seals the fate of the Third Reich, and leading the charge are the Fireflies of the 79th Armored Division. This unit, nicknamed Hobart's Funnies, was famous for its specialized tanks flail tanks, bridge-laying tanks, and more. Now, their Fireflies bridge the Rhine under withering fire, their long 17-pounder guns acting as mobile artillery, silencing the German 88mm anti-tank guns that try to stop the crossing. Von Luck is there, defending the approaches to the Ludendorff Bridge at Reims. He watches with a kind of grim, detached resignation as American Shermans, including the Fireflies, ford the river. The unexpected capture of the bridge intact is a catastrophic blow, a dagger to the heart of the German defense, accelerating the final collapse. His men fight on, as soldiers do. They are brave, they are determined. His Panthers claim more kills in desperate twilight duels, but it doesn't matter. The tide is unstoppable. Surrender finally comes for Hans von Luck in April, near the Elbe River. His war doesn't end in a blaze of glory. It ends in the mud and barbed wire of a POW camp. It's there as a prisoner that he has time to reflect. He thinks back to those early days in the Normandy bocage, to his mockery of the Sherman. He would later write, "We underestimated their ingenuity." The Firefly became, for him, the symbol of the Allied triumph, a victory of adaptation over arrogance. And across a liberated Europe, the echoes of that victory resonate. Parisians cheer wildly as Firefly crews roll their tanks down the Champs-Élysées, their long gun barrels draped in flowers and tricolour flags. In London, General Montgomery raises a glass to the engineers. Men like George Brighty and W.G.K. Fletcher, whose impossible graft of a big gun into a medium tank clawed back the initiative and changed the course of the war. The Sherman, the tank once laughed at by its enemies and often cursed by its own crews, was reborn. It became a fire-breathing avenger, a tank hunter that could go toe-to-toe with the best Germany had to offer and win. It helped pave the road not just to Paris, but all the way to VE Day and the final fall of Berlin. In the war's final fiery twist, German derision had forged their own destruction. It's a powerful lesson in hubris, a story of how underestimating your opponent can be the most fatal mistake of all, a lesson that still lingers in the annals of armored warfare. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of history as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the machines and people that shaped our world. See you next time.